Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream today, a special extra stream that I don't normally do on Sundays, but here we go. And it is to keep track of everything going on with the truckers, the Freedom Convoy, and everything. So I hope that you are all having a really good Sunday morning. And I am going to I forgot to grab water, and I know that I'm notoriously always choke on these streams, so hopefully it doesn't happen today. But all right, so first of all, big shout out to everybody who's out in Ottawa, all the freedom loving people who are protesting the government mandates. And so big shout out to everyone. Big shout out to the truckers who did the long journey, everybody who went there to Ottawa. I'm not in Ottawa myself, but just wanted to do a big shout out to all you guys who are out there. And hey, Derek. Hey, Gatto. So, yeah, I want to just reiterate what the goal of the Freedom Convoy is, because a lot of ideas are circulating online on what it was. Remember when the CBC said it was a what did they say? It was to protest road conditions. That was funny. And then, yeah, their narrative has evolved since then. But what this Freedom Convoy is truly about is the truckers have descended upon Ottawa to protest all mandates. So all the removal of freedom on Canadian citizens. The Trucker Association, whoever those guys are, have actually come out saying I think 80% of their truckers are vaccinated, fully vaccinated. So it's not about just the mandate for the truckers. Most of them are vaccinated, but what happened is the truckers that are vaccinated don't agree with mandating that process on other people. So this is what it started with, the mandates against the truckers, but then it blew up and it became a whole fight for freedom for everybody. So that's what this is about. Okay, so what else are we going to talk about? There's so many things that happened. I wanted to give an update on what's been going on with the truckers. Yesterday was the first day of the gathering, the protest in Ottawa after the long descent upon Ottawa from truckers from all over the place. So it seems to have gone really well. I'm not aware of any violence that happened. It seemed to be a very peaceful, big party. Actually, I found let me see if I still have it up here. But I found and this is actually really good. I'm going to show this. This is a pretty good representation of what's been going on down there, and I'm going to show that to you guys. So just give me 1 second here. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to share it with audio for now. I'm just going to make sure nothing's playing in the back end. Those pop-ups often start playing some sounds. So, okay, here we go. So screen one, there we go. Okay. So here we go. This is pretty much the representation, and we're going to cover who was in this group of hate here and who was in the group of peaceful, loving, freedom fighting people, patriots. So of course, almost everybody was part of the larger group here. They were all, it seems to have gone very, very well. It seems to have been well received. The truckers have gotten a huge amount of support along the highway as they drove into Ottawa. Oh yeah, I hear there's some sound effects here. Let me just kill the sound on my other one here. So yeah, there's been a lot of these people coming in. Everybody seems to have done a really good job being very peaceful. The truckers, if you didn't know, had an agreement that they had signed before going there saying that they were going to be peaceful. There was a code of conduct that they kind of came up with and that they all agreed that they were going to follow. So that was a very nice touch over here. And of course, there's a tiny, tiny little minority perhaps. Oh my goodness, hold on, guys. I'm going to reshare my screen, but without the sound, because I just put Telegram on my computer here, and it looks like my computer is just giving me all the pop-up sounds for Telegram. So let's just do this without the audio. Okay. So yes, from what I can tell, and maybe you guys who are out in Ottawa, maybe some of you are out in Ottawa right there now. let me know. But from what we've seen, from everything, and I've looked at everything I possibly can, every Facebook post, every Telegram, and every Twitter account from both sides, and it seems to me that almost everybody was in the big love and hope group, the freedom movement. And it appears that they found one person that was part of this hate group down here. And of course, as this image is showing, they are actually all focused on that. And this is exactly the representation. And this was completely expected, by the way. We knew that. We knew that all it took was for one guy to start a fight, or one plant from the government. Who knows what these people are. I'm going to show you the picture that they all focused on, but I wanted to show you this first, because it seems to me from everything I've seen, pretty much how it worked out was that this was how it went for everybody: love and hope and freedom. And there was even fireworks at the end of the day, which was really pretty. So I think for the most part, this is how the protests went. I haven't heard of anything. I don't know if you guys put it in the chat here. I'll read your comments. If you've seen anything, if you were in Ottawa yesterday and you've seen anything that was from like the hate group or anything like that, let me know. We can kind of like do the job together that the media isn't doing here. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I just want to say a quick hello to a couple people in the chat here. So Sherry, good morning. Andrew, Philip, hi Philip. It's been a while since I've seen you. I hope you're doing well. Mosh Pit, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Mosh Pit. I'm doing a special stream today, Mosh Pit, special stream, early stream. I have a couple of things to do today, so I decided to come on early. So anyways, AWOL, always nice to see you. Bamatitude, I always see you in the chat. I'm so sorry. I don't think I've ever specifically said hi to you, but this is your special time because I wanted to acknowledge Bamatitude. I love all of your posts. I see them in Crit's Telegram. So anyways, just wanted to say a special hello to you today. Howard and Stormy Weather, Sam, Terry McLeod, hi Terry, Glenn, Goofy Roofy, and I think that does the tour of everybody who's here today. Oh, Peter Branscombe, hi Peter. Okay, so we have our hate, and I'm going to show you what this hate is. So let me bring it up. I have to find it over here. So I'm going to go and look on Twitter for this because Twitter had a bunch of posts on that today. And then we're going to I'm going to show you like how the media and the politicians have fed off of that. And this is how they're shaping the narrative for all of us. So just give me 1 second here. I'm going to look for it. Was trending today. It was Nazi flag Canada. Let's go find that, guys. And we'll take it straight. Okay, so this is the image that they are grasping at. So I'm going to just describe the image for anybody who might just be audio only. What we're seeing here, it seems that there are there's people who are unrelated sitting on a bench here. It's outside, clearly very cold, a lot of snow. You can see everybody's, you can tell that it's like minus 20 something. There's two people, maybe three here. I can't quite see if this is the third person, but they're holding a F. Trudeau flag, sold out on Amazon, by the way. And they seem to just kind of be there. The second group here, there's two or potentially three people walking past them. And these are the people that have a Nazi flag and the F. Trudeau flag. So you can see the directions of the flags. They're going that way. It seems to be leaving. So we don't know. Are these people all related? Are there two separate groups? Was the Nazi group, I'm going to call them that just to make it easy to follow along, were they just walking past? And whoever took the picture happened to get the picture of the Don't Tread on Me flag with the Canadian flag. So we don't know, but let me just say, the Nazi flag was a bad call, whoever this is. I don't know if this is a government plant. We knew that they were going to try to do some. We don't know if this is Antifa, which is, Antifa is really not Antifa. They're like pro-fascism because they are the fascists. But we don't know if this was, we don't know anything about this picture yet. but we have seen the reaction from the media, which we are going to cover. But I just want to say that essentially what we are trying to, in the freedom movement, what we are trying to fight for is for everybody's individual rights. We want the government to step out and pretty much leave us alone. And I want to remind people that the Nazis did the exact opposite. So they were the government that was in your life, dictating absolutely everything. They controlled, they put special radios in every German's homes that would broadcast the special Nazi party messages. And that was the only news they were allowed. If you were caught in Nazi Germany with a radio that was not issued by the government, you were fined and often put to death. And there were underground radios. We know that now. And it was a very dangerous thing. So remember, Nazi Germany, it was very dangerous to listen to the BBC. So when you talk about the Nazis here, you have, oh, my dog wants to come in here. She can't be without me. I might have to let her in if she doesn't stop. I'm in a locked room over here so that you can't hear my kids in the background. But anyways, okay, the Nazis, they were trying to control their population. They set the narrative. They executed people that went against it, and they were doing all sorts of stuff. And I've spent a good year now on these streams, on the Wednesday night streams, showing you the parallel between what our government is doing and what Nazi Germany did. The only difference is that they're just as bad. Both of them are just as bad. The only difference between the Nazis, the actual Nazi party, and the government, and the Canadian government is that the Canadian government hasn't gotten to the concentration camps yet. We're not there yet. But the initial restrictions of freedom, the sabotage of anybody who, the name calling of anybody who goes against them, the censorship of our doctors, the threats on our doctors, the mandates of the vaccines, the lockdowns, you can have this amount of people in your house only. All of this government overreach is very akin to what the Nazis did. The only difference, we're not there yet, but give a government a few more years without doing all of these protests that we're trying to get through now, and we could very well get there. We could get to the level Nazi Germany was. So the goal of this whole protest is to not get there. So when you have this Nazi flag here, very bad call. As expected, the government, the media, so this is media, CIJA Info, are all grasping at this. The one picture, one guy, one group here, potentially a group of 4, but maybe only even a group of 2 here. Only these 2. They just could be just walking by and have that flag. Who knows what the intentions of these guys were? You can clearly see that on top of that, they have a F. Trudeau flag. So I don't know. I'm just going to speculate here for a second, guys, if you would please indulge me. And let me put a disclaimer on here. Just because I'm trying to guess at the intention of a person does not mean that I support the Nazi flag. I do not support the Nazis. I do not support their ideology. I don't support representations of Nazism just being waved around. I don't support the killing of the Jews. I've been pro-Jewish my whole life. Okay? I need to put that disclaimer out there because there are some people that just will use anything, right? They grasp at straws. So I wanted to be very clear on my disclaimer. So now that my disclaimer, Julie the individual, opposes the Nazis in any form, and I oppose any resurgence of Nazi ideology in any form, I am looking at this picture and saying, okay, maybe these guys, in their misguided attempt, were trying to portray that Trudeau is the Nazi because they have a F. Trudeau flag above and then a Nazi flag below. Again, I think using the Nazi flag in any way was not a good call. That's just terrible. Not only is it leads to misconceptions or misunderstanding exactly like right now, but it gives ammunition to the media and to the government to take this one picture, no context. And I understand we don't need a context for Nazi flag, okay? I got it. I'm not promoting the Nazi flag. I oppose the Nazis. Is that clear? Here, let me even put it in the chat here just to be absolutely cheer. I'm going to actually sign my freaking name to this. Julie Mora, oppose Nazism. I'm putting this in the chat, guys. Nazism in all forms. Okay, there, it's in the chat. I signed my name to it. I'm not okay. We got this. Geez, this stuff we have to do when we make this commentary, just to make sure it never gets misconstrued. But anyways, so who knows what the intention was, but this is what they are now grasping at. So this is now the representation of what we were looking at here. So we have all of the Canadian freedom lovers, Canadians who are out there peacefully protesting. They've done everything on the up and up. They've been like sabotaged along the way, right? So we had the GoFundMe sabotages, attempts, and we had, of course, the government who tried to hide it and didn't acknowledge it. And now we have, of course, a prime minister who's hiding in his bedroom because, he's sick. So, by the way, I did a video on Trudeau because, and it's on BitChute, it's not going to be on here, but it was my favorite post that he's ever made. So go look at that on BitChute if you are so inclined. But yeah, it was, I had fun with that. Anyways, so the Nazi flag that they found is now, it's funny how the numbers are always inverted, right? Like it's always reversed. So you have like 99.5% of the population that is completely peaceful, has done nothing, and is just there in support. And that will be ignored by the media, who will give 95% of the attention, 99.5% of the attention to this one guy, this one picture that we have of a Nazi flag. So it's like disproportionate. And this is where you can clearly see, I'm kind of happy the media did this because you can see the bias. If it wasn't clear before, these things, as people are waking up in Canada, these things are becoming far more clear now, that when you look at this flag here, that is what they're going off. This is what they're using. Now, there wasn't just this. There's a couple of things that we're gonna go check out what Jagmeet said. Jagmeet has lost his mind. Let me just bring him up here, because this was a predictable turn. Anybody who's followed any politics in the last year will know that white supremacy is like the main attack. When you don't have an argument, you don't have anything good to say, just go with the white supremacy angle, right? That's what they think is gonna happen and make everything better. Oh yeah, okay. The trucker, it's not about freedom, it's about white supremacy. But let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So it's this post here. So today, this is Jagmeet Singh tweet from yesterday. So January 29th, 2022 at 12:30 p.m. PM, people, 12:30 p.m. He actually tweeted the following: "Today, we commemorate 5 years since a terrorist attacked and murdered Muslims in a Quebec City mosque. We said never again. And today, the comma is wrong. And today, conservative, I guess not, maybe not. Anyways, okay. And today, conservative MPs have endorsed a convoy led by those that claim the superiority of white bloodline." Like, and equate Islam to a disease. First of all, this is the first time, and you guys know, anybody that's been following me for more than 2 years, you know that I started off talking about Islam and the dangers of political Islam. I'm not going to get into that today, but out of all of the studying I've done on the Islamic ideology, I've never ever found anywhere where it equates Islam to a disease. I've never seen that. So this is a bit of a puzzle to me. I don't know where he came up with that, but the superiority of the white bloodline. And what's funny, if you're going to talk about Islam, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about Islam, but Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, there are a lot of hadiths that claim that he is the whitest of all white men, and there's like descriptions of his feet and his arms and his body, and everything is white. So it's kind of funny to me when they say that they claim white superiority, when in fact Muhammad claimed to be the whitest of white people. So anyways, it's so funny. This whole thing makes absolutely no sense, but they're banking on the fact that people don't really know much about Islam in this. So anyways, but the bigger point for today, he's relating it back to conservative MPs that are endorsing a convoy led by those that claim the superiority of white bloodline. Now, if anybody out there, put it in the chat here. If anybody has seen anything of any of the truckers, any of the people surrounding the truckers that have mentioned white superiority as part of the convoy, let me know. I have not seen anything, and I have followed this. Hours of my time has been following this convoy and understanding all the pieces together. How did the media react? What are people posting? I've looked at everybody's Facebooks and everybody that posts something on there. I've been following the new app is called the Zello. So I've been following the truckers speaking, all the kids, I don't know if you guys have heard that there's an app called Zello, and it's like a CB app, and people could go in and they could talk to the truckers, and you would hear the truckers talk. You would hear the admins, say, okay, I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to relay the rules here and all that. So it was kind of fun to listen to that. And I've listened to hours of the Zello conversations, and not once have I ever heard of this. But yet, I wonder how many hours of this research Jagmeet Singh has done. But yet he claims that the convoy is led by, so not just there are white superiority items or white supremacist items that are fringe within the convoy. He's saying the convoy was led by white supremacy. This is what he's saying in here. And it's on the screen. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore to this, because it's so blatantly wrong. And do they really think we're stupid? Like, this is what I wonder. Do they actually think we're stupid? Because it has nothing to do. Again, I said it at the start of the chat. I see of the stream. I see a lot more people in there today, right now. So I'm going to say, okay, you know what? The Freedom Convoy is about pressuring the government into removing the mandates. The restoration of our freedom as Canadians. This all is Muslim Canadians too. It's you guys too. It's everybody. It's everybody. Black, white, brown, like whatever, yellow, whatever other blue. If you're blue in Canada, we don't care. We want to make sure everybody's free. This is the thing with Canada. We are a free nation and we want everybody to be free. So the convoy is protesting, and they're using the power that they have currently for good. They're using it for good. They're using it to restore the freedom of all Canadians. And by the way, the government had no right to take those freedoms in the first place. A government should never be telling you who can come to your house, how many people can gather at a wedding. This should never have been a government. This was complete overreach. It's just disgusting, really. It's outrageous that the government even did that and got away with it for so long. So essentially, the protesters that all joined on the trucker convoy, and the people like me who support but from afar because we couldn't make it to Ottawa, we are protesting in our own towns. There was a big protest in Edmonton yesterday. Same thing, they did the truck thing, but in Edmonton for all the people who couldn't be in Ottawa. It's a big country. Not everybody can just go. It's not like France, where it takes you whatever it is, a few hours to get to the other side of the country. Sometimes you have to drive 2 days, right? So it's this whole thing is about freedom for everyone. So these kinds of posts are just, it's laughable at this point. And I'm kind of glad they keep doing that. I'm like, we have Trudeau hiding. We have Jagmeet Singh going off on this weird like loss of reality thing about the white supremacy. and yet we have, I'm going to see if I can pull up the Pierre Poilievre. I want to see his. Let me see if he's on Twitter, because there is a picture of him, and it was a pretty good one. I know not everybody likes this guy, but Poilievre. Oh, what's up, Jeddah? You need to go outside? Okay, come on, go. My dog very politely asked me to go outside, so I let her go. Okay, Pierre Poilievre. Let me see his. I'm just looking for his. And hope there it is. So first of all, there was this one where they actually, he blasted the reporter asking about that. Let me see. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but then I'm going to show you the one with the trucker. Okay, I'm going to have to reshare my screen here with sound. So just 1 second. Oh, lost my earbuds. Okay, I'm going to have to reshare this with the sound now because I killed it before the sound, but I'm just going to do this just 1 second. Okay. So share audio. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so this is from Rebel News. Oops. Oh, is it sharing? Hold on.
You know what I think is interesting?
There you go.
Is that when there's a left-wing protest on Parliament Hill, we don't see the Liberal media going through every single name of the people who attends to try and find one person that they can disparage the whole group with. You know, we don't see CBC, for example, has been accused by its own employees of systemic racism. And yet we don't see the media here generalize that everyone who works at the CBC is a racist. Whenever you have 5,000 or 10,000 people who are part of any group, you're bound to have a number who have or say unacceptable things. And they should be individually responsible for the things they say and do. But that doesn't mean we disparage the thousands of hard-working, law-abiding, and peaceful truckers who, quite frankly, have kept all of you alive the last 2 years by filling your grocery shelves with the food that you eat and filling your homes with the products that you rely upon. So I think that it is possible to hold individually responsible anyone who says or does anything unacceptable, while showing support for the hardworking, law-abiding, peace-loving truckers who are fighting for their freedom and their livelihoods, and on whom we have depended for our very existence.
So this is really true when you go back. Like, I'm going to keep going back to the image here. It's exactly what he was just saying. Hold this, the individual that had the one flag, right? That's part of this little group here. This is what we need to do. We need to make sure that we don't apply it to the whole group. So that the timing of that speech, I think it was 2 days before we saw the image, and it was very prophetic in a way. I mean, it's somewhat predictable too. We always know these things always go the same way, but it was very prophetic of Pierre Poilievre to actually recognize that ahead of time and do that speech. It was the timing was excellent on that one, I have to say. Okay, so let me see if we can find the other one. There is another, I'm looking for his own account. I don't know why it's not showing me his account. Am I spelling his name wrong? I bet you I'm spelling his name wrong. But yeah, it's maybe he's not on Twitter. Who knows? Maybe it was kicked off of Twitter, but we might see it if I come across it in the Instagram feed as we go through it. Here, we'll go through that. So I'm looking at the Convoy Canada here. Let's see if we can make this a bit bigger here. Okay, so there was a lot of these, you know, these truckers that were coming in. These videos are very noisy. I don't want to play too many of them here, but it was quite awesome to see. So, like, look at this. I don't know if you can see how many people are here in this. I'm gonna see. I haven't played this one. We're just gonna check it out real quick. But I wanted to show you the image of how big this is. So look at this. Daily Mail. Justin Trudeau and his family flee the Canadian capital for a secret location. Oh, amid security. Oh, so did you guys know that? I just found that out. I had no idea. But yeah, it looks. I don't know if this is true. It's just so hard to know what's true anymore, right? Get all these ads. Okay, so Justin and Trudeau have left their home amid security concerns as demonstrators march up and down the streets. Protesters could be seen carrying copies of the Charters of Rights and Freedoms. How dare they? Is that the white supremacy that Jagmeet Singh was talking about? Like, is this what he thinks is white supremacy? Anyways, so yeah, it looks like he's gone now. I don't know if you guys can see all the image. I wish I had a better image. It's really hard to find these, but all the truckers, it lines up forever. And there was, let me get out of here so we can just go back to Telegram. There was so many. If you see everybody at Parliament Hill, Parliament Hill, can't even talk at all, really. But so many people at Parliament Hill. It was huge. I'm wondering, was anybody in the stream here there? Hey, Larry, RV Chris. Oh, I see a bunch of more people have joined. Amazing. Hey, Suzanne. And let me see who else. Who else did I miss? Plant Boy. Trent Dabbs. Hi, Trent. Point Fire. Nova. Goofy Roofy. I think Goofy Roofy, I saw you there before. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can find a proper image on here of the convoy. I'm looking for you know what? Facebook might have that. I'm going to go into Facebook and see if we can find something that will show us the actual magnitude of the pictures. I'm pretty sure just my Facebook thing would show me. Hold on. Because it was, from what I could see, there was one of the aerial views went all the way around, all like it was a huge like L formation, and it seemed like there was so many people. And from what I'm understanding, there's still people coming in. So that was just the first day. Still people are coming in. Just give me a second, guys, to get my dog back in. Okay, so let me just see here. If I can find, so YouTube has so much, Facebook has so many ads now. It's barely even Facebook anymore. Remember Facebook like 10 years ago when it wasn't all this garbage? Now it's just absolute insanity. But I'll see if I can find something. A bunch of clown images on here. It's quite funny, actually. Oh, well, this is not what I was looking for, but I'm going to share this one because it's actually quite funny. But here we have all the truckers coming in and an image of Trudeau getting away from that with the I quit. That would be amazing if that was the outcome. However, it's, again, Trudeau's just one guy, was just one puppet in this whole thing. It's not just about Trudeau, like you know how people are like cheering, oh, Trudeau must go. It's not just Trudeau, guys. It's the whole idea of restricting the freedoms of people that is the problem. And that is what the truckers are out there fighting for. So yeah, okay, I'm going to get into a couple of the, so now we've covered, what I wanted to cover today was the guys with the Nazi flag, which we've done. I want to take a look at some of the other backlash that we've seen from the mainstream and our governments. And this is from Nova Scotia. So Nova Scotia, right here, and let me see if there's are these guys yelling in your ears? No, okay, good. Okay, so Nova Scotia, in response to all these truckers coming in and this huge success of the movement, Nova Scotia bans blockades of highway near New Brunswick border. So what is this about? Apparently, they've just enacted a new law that is in response to the trucker movement. So they have banned blockades of a highway under the Emergency Management Act. So what this means is, you know, those people that were up on the overpasses, no longer. The people who were on the side of the highway cheering on the truckers as they would go through, nothing. They can't do that anymore. It means also the trucks cannot go slow on the highway in an attempt anymore to protest, right? So that's what the truckers were doing. They were taking one or two lanes and they were going really slow on it. And then other trucks like ambulances and obviously people going to work were able to pass in the faster lane. So it's not like they disrupted the whole highway, but that is also no longer allowed. And it's not in this article, but I heard somewhere that it was, you are no longer allowed to donate to the cause. Now that is unverified, so don't quote me on that one. But you can see here, they're actually, so this is a direct response. They're admitting it. It's for those who protest in support of the 2022 Freedom Convoy. Or others organized to interfere with traffic. So even though there was no interference with any traffic, even though there was no injuries, right? So I remember the first few images I saw of people on the side of the highway, I was like, oh my gosh, like, please, nobody, please step in front of a truck and accidentally get hit, right? That was my concern. But people were really well organized with that whole thing. They seem to have had a lot of people that were kind of self-appointed as some security that were making sure people weren't getting too close. So I've seen a lot of videos of that, and people were smart. Like, people are not idiots. They're not going to jump in front. I was just afraid, like, oh my gosh, like, what happens because I knew the media, if anybody got injured during the convoy, the media would use that. And luckily nothing happened, but yet with nobody getting injured, they are still in here making these laws for no reason. The only reason is a punitive one. This is punitive. It's to make sure that we can't do this. So they tried hiding the cameras. You saw how on the 401 they shut down cameras. A lot of highways, they shut down cameras, so you couldn't see how long the convoy was, whether it was coming in from the west or the east. You couldn't see it because they shut that down. So that was, again, censorship and control. They're trying to control the narrative. And now this is, after seeing it, the convoy and the success movement, now they're moving to these kinds of steps. And the question really is, first of all, are people going to go along with this, right? The whole movement is to not go along with tyranny, and this is yet another tyranny movement here. They're saying it's for your safety, but nope. And are they going to go along with it? And then as well, are other provinces going to start to follow suit? So Quebec, I'm looking at you, because you may very well do this next. You may very well be the next one to do this. And will Quebec do this? And if that happens, what kind of next moves will there be, right? How far will the government go? Because that's the new question now. Now the protesters are down there. The first day went really well. What's going to happen? What are the next steps? What is the government preparing to do? Because there will be some kind of a response. Will the government use force against its own citizens? And trust me, the 20th century, so First World War, Second World War, all the tyrannies, the communists, the Chinese, the North Koreans, everybody that's in some kind of a tyrannical government, they have used the government forces against their own citizens for violence. So very, very big possibility that we could see something like bringing in one form of the army or not to deal with that. If the truckers all leave their trucks there, will they bring in the army or the globalist army, right? The UN army. We've seen in the past, remember when people were showing all the videos of locations where UN vehicles were? Will that be the next move, right? This is a really important question that we're asking. Will they do that? And who knows? Who knows? So far, the protesters have been very peaceful. How will the government react to this, right? I find it hard to believe they're really going to back down. Although, like, I'll show you Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan just said, let's check a look at what they did. Saskatchewan just said this, and this is potentially in response to the protest, or at least being nudged along because of the protest. But Saskatchewan Premier says province will end proof of vaccine policy in a not too distant future. And if you read the subtitle here, it says within a week. So really good news coming out of Saskatchewan here. Very, very awesome. And we want to see all provinces do that. And the question, though, is, you see, on one hand, Nova Scotia going more totalitarian, Quebec following along, Quebec leading the totalitarian movement. And then you have places like Saskatchewan who are backing away. And none of this really makes sense. Ontario also has some rumors that they're going to back away from some of the mandates, but none of this makes sense, that some of our provinces are going one way, some of the provinces are going the other way. Like, if you think about the amount of money they poured into these vaccine passports, it seems weird to me that they would be like, all of a sudden be like, no, it's okay. You know, think of all the money that they spent on just getting the vaccines. I've heard that we've pre-purchased the vaccines well into 2023 or 2024. So it seems a bit weird that they would back down. So I'm just saying, we take the good news where we can, but the good news cannot come from our government. The good news has to come from us. We are the people that have to keep protesting, keep holding the line, go against any tyrannical measures the government tries to spring on us. And I'm hoping that the trucker movement was like the instigating movement that gave the confidence to all the Canadians who were silent until now to now wake up and speak out. This has already prompted a lot of people, medical personnel, to speak out. It gave them the confidence, you know, when you realize you're not alone, perfect, you can speak out. Hopefully that continues. And that is what I think is going to be the legacy of the trucker movement, was the mass awakening of a lot of people in Canada who just didn't realize what was going on. There's a lot, the censorship, the brainwashing was so intense for so long that it's not surprising many of our colleagues and friends just had no idea what was going on. And I'm hoping the legacy of this trucker movement will be exactly that. It'll show, hey, you know what? It's okay to speak up. It's okay to stand up for your rights, because they're your rights. I'm a Canadian citizen. I do not live in North Korea, and I will not have my freedom removed. I will not have my body autonomy removed. This is my body, my choice, right? It's funny how the left said that for a long time. My body, my choice, but all of a sudden it's my body, but government choice, and my body and my company's choice. So it's funny how that, like, I mean, and it's not funny, but it's, you know, it's the reality. It's funny how it's switched over. Okay, what else do I have for you guys today? It was just oh yes, I wanted to look at the Dutch. So then in the Netherlands, I'm going to see if I can find that article for you guys. The trucker movement has actually spurred worldwide movements everywhere. So we had the Edmonton protest this weekend as well. That was a trucker protest. But it looks like the Netherlands and potentially France are following suit. So I'm going to see if I can find that for you. And there's a few, I think England as well. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show this one here. Okay. So the European Union faced another major pest as the Dutch truckers first to follow in Canadian demonstration. So this is worldwide, and this, I'm hoping, and I'm going to, if I had to gamble, I would gamble on this. This is what I would gamble on, that this is now it's a unstoppable world force at this point. And this is why Trudeau is fleeing. He's afraid, and this is why the people are getting their confidence from not just Canadians, but it looks like the Dutch are now getting their confidence. And I'm hoping this will go everywhere where they have really imposed these vaccine mandates, the freedom restrictions, all sorts of mandates on people. I'm hoping this will help, especially Germany and Austria, you guys who are just reliving your tyrannical roots, your Nazi roots, bringing them right back with this forced vaccination. So the EU must be fairly panicked at this point. So, by the way, before I get into the article, the people in Europe have been protesting for months. They've been protesting all of this. It's just we don't have mainstream media. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but they've been protesting for months and relentlessly every day. There's been protests in Europe. So this is not new, but the trucker thing, that's new. So this is really cool. Really happy that the Dutch are doing this. So they're on the verge of more haulage woes as Dutch lorry drivers appeared to join their Canadian cousins in a freedom convoy protest against the mandatory vaccines. And what's fun about the European countries is you guys are a lot smaller out there. Your countries are smaller. So you have more power of like having a lot of people going to one place at once, whereas Canada, like I was saying at the start, if you're in BC, you'd have to, if you can't fly because you're unvaxxed, you would have to drive, and I think it's like a 2-day drive. Let's look it up. Let's look it up because I'm curious to see how long. I can just go on Google Maps actually. So Google Maps. Okay, so let's look at how long. I'm curious. So if I say, hold on, if I say here, okay, so I'm going to say Vancouver. Did it type in here? There, let's go to Vancouver. And we're going to put the driving path to Ottawa. Because I want to see, I want to give an idea of how long it takes to drive. And where is it here? It must be in here, eh? Your timeline. See, I'm used to the app, not the website. That's not what I want. I don't know if anybody knows how to do this in here. But yeah, because what I was looking, I'm going to do it on my phone, actually. I'm going to do it on my phone. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm used to the app. I don't do well with these websites. So, Google Maps. We're going to look. Maybe somebody's already done it and can just tell me in the chat. But I'm going to look it up. 2 days minimum, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to see here. So Vancouver, amazing. And I'm going to go to Ottawa. There we go. Okay. So Vancouver to Ottawa. So it's, if you're driving, wait, if you walk it, by the way, it's a 36-day and 10-hour walk. That's amazing. If you're going to go on a bike, it'll take you 9 days and 10 hours if you're biking. I don't know, at the average speed, I don't know what the average speed would be. And if you go via car and you don't stop, it's a 48-hour drive. 46-hour drive. So yeah, 46 to 48-hour drive, no stopping. So unless, you sleep in your car, you eat in your car, and you don't stop anywhere, it's going to take you about 3-4 days to get from Vancouver to Ottawa. So Canada is so vast, so huge that not everybody can just go everywhere and protest. So this is why the trucker movement is so big in Canada, because to get so many people in Ottawa, I've never seen anything like that. I remember back in the 90s, remember when we had the protest for when Quebec tried to split? I think it was 95, something like that. Quebec tried to split. We had all sorts of people from Canada come to Quebec and say, no, like they were protesting against the split, the separation of Quebec from Canada. And I don't know, I'd be curious to know, were those numbers just as big as what we're seeing now? Like, I'm very curious to know if it would be comparable, or if the trucker movement is bigger and will become bigger over the next few days, because we haven't seen the end of this yet. But anyways, so 2 days to walk from Vancouver. Yeah, Tasanico said 36 hours from wherever you are. It's a big country. So the fact that we even saw as many people drive to Ottawa as we did yesterday in the images that we saw, it's amazing. It's a Canadian miracle because it's very hard. And especially in January, guys, in January, where you literally have all the snow, all the cold, and people are still going out there and protesting. So it just shows you the resilience of the Canadian people, the willingness, the strong-willed. I mean, we are descendants of the people who came here and like built the whole country, but with nothing, right? They just built a small wood shack somewhere, and that became a village, and that became a whatever, right? And they built it with their own families. This is what they had to do when we had the people coming in from New France, shipped over here, criminals and whatever. But they had to be tough. They were tough cookies. So we're the descendants, and this is our legacy. Even if you're a new Canadian, you participate in our legacy. You are the face of this strong, free legacy that we have. So this is what we are in Canada. This is why we drive for 2 days just to go protest in Ottawa when it's minus 25. So, okay, so now the Dutch are following through on with their demonstrations. So they were protesting just normal standard protest. Now they're doing the truck convoy. And I'm curious to see how many more people are going to be joining this. So there's been severe delays in the European Union in recent months, right? Because they're recovering from the coronavirus. But now they're going to the Dutch. They're showing their solidarity to Canadian truckers protesting the COVID policies and vaccine mandates. Footage has now emerged on social media showing Dutch lorry drivers seemingly setting up their own freedom convoy. So yay, go Dutch, go Netherlands. You guys are going to rock it just like we did to demonstrate against Amsterdam's own policies against the coronavirus. So they're driving down a local road in Friesland, honking as they pass by the person that was filming them. So 8 lorries were filmed with traffic slowing behind them. So look, we got to do what we got to do to take back our freedoms. And to me, this is probably one of the best ways to do it. It's very peaceful. It's mindful of other people. It's minimally disruptive, far less disruptive than any of the COVID measures, by the way. So it's a great way to do this. And I hope that we keep up with this. I hope more of these countries are going to follow suit. And I hope when we think about Saskatchewan that we will see these mandates drop, and the mask mandates, especially for children in school. My gosh, please, these mask mandates have got to go. They have got to go. Fun story, by the way. I'm going to share this with you on this Sunday morning. Story time with Julie, because I have a this has been really interesting, and I don't know if I've said this before on these streams, but I'll tell you again. When I drop my kid off at school, so I have 3 kids in 3 different schools now, so we're dealing with the 3 school boards who are all doing the same thing. But my youngest, he's only 7 years old, and we drop him off to school. So my husband and I and this other one family are the only ones that are unmasked. We've never worn a mask to school. And the little kids, this has been going on for whatever school days we had last year, but specifically more this year. Little kids that I don't know have started saying hi to me. At first, they would look at me a little bit puzzled. And these are like the 5-year-olds, like the ones that are in kindergarten. They would look at me a little puzzled because I was the only one without the mask, my husband too. And there's this other one family. That's it. 2 families out of the entire school. I would say there's maybe 400 kids at this school, maybe 350, 400 range would be my guess. Maybe I'm wrong. But you can tell. And these people all wear masks, every single person. So these little kids, I've caught them quite a few times. They just kind of look up at me, and at first it was strange. Some of them smiled. And now, after months of this, I'm at the point where the little kids are just full out waving at me. It's amazing. But you know why? Not because I'm like, I haven't done anything. It's just they recognize me. They see a face that smiles at them. They don't see their teachers. They don't see other people at the school. I am the only face. My husband and I are the only face that they see when we go to school. And for the whole day at school. So it's sad. It's very sad that this is what's happening, but it just shows you the power of not covering your face. Was it worth it to put this face covering on our kids now, knowing that it's completely useless? We knew this before, but most people are waking up now. Was it worth it to have all these kids alienated from themselves, from their teachers, from their caregivers? For what? For what? Right? You can tell the little kids, they seek out the people with a face. They seek out people like me who don't wear a mask because they're trying to understand the world around them. So anyways, hopefully those stupid mask mandates are gone. And hopefully everything that these truckers are doing is going to pave the way for Canadians to take back their freedoms. Canadians of all races, Canadians of all ages, gender, Canadians that are new, Canadians that are old stock, whatever kind of Canadian you are, it doesn't matter to the trucker movement, because we want our freedoms back and we want everybody to fight for the freedom. So anyways, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the Wednesday stream. If you want to come join me for that, we'll keep an eye on what's going on with the truckers and the protests. Hopefully more European Union countries will join by Wednesday. We have like what, 3 days? 3 days? We'll see how many more are going to join us in 3 days. And hopefully we won't come up with any more issues with the protests, like the Nazi flag, like that was a bad idea. Hopefully we won't see any more of those as the days go by, but I'll definitely keep an eye on that. If you guys have anything you wanted me to talk about on these streams, feel free to send me an email. My email is in the description. And send me an email, or you can just put a comment in here, and I'll try to read the comments, and I'll address things that you want me to address if you're interested in that. So anyways, but yeah, I'm wishing you a really good rest of the weekend, and stay brave out there. We're gonna need it, but we are starting to see things turn around, and it's getting really good out there. So hold the line, stay brave, and I'll see you